Hello and welcome to the show. Today we're going to highlight professionals in the entertainment industry who have unique jobs. You don't see them on camera, but their roles are just as important. And one of those roles is an intimacy coordinator. You know what that is? Well, Zuri says her role goes far beyond supervising sex scenes. She's here to talk about it. Welcome to the show, Zuri Pryor-Graves. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
It is really nice to have you. So before we dive in to how you do it, what do you do? What does an intimacy coordinator do?
Yes, so an intimacy coordinator works as a liaison between actors and the production and even some crew members to make sure that during hypersensitive scenes and materials, so that would be any simulated sex, anytime there's nudity, and other really violent material or things where we need a close set, a very limited number of people there to make sure that things are safe. We make sure that we do everything that we can before, during, and after to take care of all those people involved.
And this is a relatively new role, right?
Yes,
Let's talk about the origins of an intimacy coordinator.
Okay, we were birthed kind of out of the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
And these things were happening before. There were people on set who were providing this kind of safety and these checks, but nothing officially. There were no regulations, and these people did not have a title. So,
so it was just somebody's sort of, oh yeah, that seems, no, don't do that, yeah, but now there's some structure to it?
Yes, we've created a lot of structure that streamlines the process so that we can make sure that everybody universally on all sets has that same level of protection.
I want to talk about, because I think about when we see like movies with really violent scenes involving children, right? And we know they're actors, but those are kind of some of the conversations you have to have. Well, I think people think it's just coordinating the sex scenes, but these are really important conversations that you're having to have with young people or women. And let's talk about how you have those and what do you do?
Absolutely. Well, my background is in therapy. I'm a sex therapist by trade, and actually what you're talking about, it brings up a scene for me from Average Joe. It was a show a while back, and we had a child who was about 4 years old who accidentally shot her mother. So being able to pull that child aside and speaking to them on their own level to make sure that they understand the work that they're doing and that they are comfortable with it. And to have a 4-year-old consent, it's going to look a little bit different, but we get it done.
I have to imagine those are conversations that are happening with the parents as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Like before, during, after, making sure that they're okay?
Yes, absolutely. And even as early as the casting process. If I have the ability to see a script ahead of time, to offer my help to casting, to say, would you like me to have these conversations, to make sure that before these people are even cast that they're comfortable.
Yeah, and so what do you do when you sense that there's some level of discomfort or things just start to go off script? What is there a supervisory role there or a level of correction that you're able to say, we got to change, or is that a private conversation with the director?
It depends, but what we try to do is rehearse ahead of time. So we do absolutely everything that we can do to make sure that everything is spelled out and planned out, almost like a dance. So we choreograph these scenes to a T to hope that none of these things happen. But emotions come up, different things come up for people, and we try to put in some fail-safes just in case that happens.
Yeah, and you talk about choreographing scenes. You've worked on some shows where there are some very intense sex scenes.
Absolutely.
But all of it, you say, is every touch, so to speak, is highly choreographed.
Yes. It is. The sexiest thing about sex scenes is that they are unsexy. Like, there is nothing fun about them. We don't get into there's no actual intimacy, and it really is beat for beat for beat. There are a million people in the room. It's just, it's not what people think that it is.
Yeah, so when people say, I mean, there's a conversation with the actors and the actresses about what they're going to even agree to, right?
Absolutely.
And no one can direct them beyond that.
Absolutely. And they're actually under a contractual agreement. And that agreement, it's called a nudity rider or a simulated sex rider. So all of those things are discussed far in advance, and I write the language for it. So it might be this person can be touched on their left shoulder, but not their right. We will get that specific sometimes in the details of what we can and cannot do.
Yeah, and I know quickly before we go, you wanted to talk about a role you're playing as an intimacy coordinator in Piano Lesson.
Yes,
the
yes.
Updated version of this classic.
Yes, August Wilson's play will be coming out on Netflix, and I really appreciate them inviting me to that space because it is non-traditional intimacy. Okay, so it's it's not your sex scenes. It's a different kind of intimacy that I think people will really appreciate.
Yeah, and you were working with, I believe, Erykah Badu in some scenes.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is really important
Danielle
work.
Detweiler, yes.
Yeah, this is great. Where can people find you on social media, or how do people get in touch with you to learn more, how to do this?
Okay, my website is ZuriPryor-Graves.com.
Okay.
And I can be found on social media at Intimacy with Z.
Intimacy with Z.
Yes, ma'am.
What an interesting job you have.
Thank
that is
you so
amazing.
much.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for
you.
being with us. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it. All right, so listen up. We're just getting started. After the break, we have a food stylist who's going to show us how to whip up some food items. Not that you're trying to eat it, it's supposed to look good. And there's a process to that as well. You'd be surprised what some of the substitutes are. Stay tuned. And then later, check this out. We're going behind the scenes with a stunt actress who says when she shows up to work, she's not sure if she's going to be set on fire or swimming underwater. She doesn't know what's coming, but she's ready. And she's going to be here coming up later in the show as well. Stay with us. You're going to learn a lot today on Portia. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.